Our sixth storyteller tonight is James Waititu Maina, a fifth-year medical student at Moore University, currently training in Indianapolis for 6 weeks through AMPA's bilateral exchange program, funded by NTE's Global Health Education Fund. James is also a Mwangasa scholar with full funding at Moore University School of Medicine. His story is titled, My Journey to Education.
Thank you so much. When I was 5, my father told me, son, I want to take you to school. And education is the only thing I can give you because we don't have any property for you to inherit. And that is when my academic journey started in a nearby school in my village in Muranga County. And when my father took me to that school, he told me that this is where you are going to, this is the place that is going to transform your life, and you are going to have some good life, and you're going to be happy in the future. So, but when I started school, the first 2 years proved otherwise, because I had to wake up very early in the morning, walk barefooted to school, and then, of course, those who have been to Kenya, they know the teachers used to discipline us thoroughly, and I could endure, as a boy, I used to endure several whips during the day, and that did make a lot of sense to me. So one day, I went to my mother and told her, Mom, I don't want to go to school anymore. That time I was 8 years in class 3. And I told her, why don't you allow me to go to one of the village farms and start working so that I can get some few coins. And with that, you won't have to struggle yourself to wake me very early in the morning. And I would, and I also wouldn't have to wake up very early in the morning, so it will be a win-win situation. And of course, we don't always get what we want. So that was obviously not accepted. So I decided to come up with plans of how I'm going to skip school. And as any other young person, the first thing that I tried is to fake illness every morning. So I could wake up very sick, and my mother could pardon me and allow me to stay at home for like a day or two. But of course, that didn't go on for long because my mother just figured out my game. And she could even now force me to go to school even when I was very sick in the morning. So I decided to come up with a better plan. So one day, my mother packed woke me up in the morning as usual, packed some little ugali and sukuma wiki that was left over from yesterday, and escorted me to the gate. But now, instead of going to the school, I took a detour and went to my grandmother's place. And I spent the whole day there, and then came back home at around 4 p.m., the time when everyone else was going back home, and started telling my mom how nice the day was. I succeeded in doing that for the next 5 days. And that was until my mom met with my class teacher, Mrs. Sophia, around the shopping centers when my mom was vending some bananas. And she asked my mom, why is James not coming to school anymore? And my mom was like, what do you mean? James has been coming to school every day. And that is how my mom knew my plan. And as an African parent, I received thorough beating that night. And the following week, she now decided to take me to school herself. And that's what she did for the next 1 week. And I remember just a few days later, we had an exam in school. And to everyone's surprise, I was at the top of that class, despite missing about 50% of the classes. And I became very famous in that village and in that school. And people started talking about this young boy who is truant and always running out of school, but comes back to school and sits for an exam and he's at the top of the class. And that is the time when I caught the attention of the head teacher who summoned me into his office. And when I went to his office, I remember the first question he asked me is, what do you want to become in future when you grow up? And as a village boy who had not seen so many professional people, I told him I want to become a driver. And for some reason, he didn't like that answer. So he started talking to me about different careers that he thought were better. And I remember him telling me every profession and what they do. So he's talked about how what pilots do, what engineers do, what teachers do, what lawyers do. And then he started talking about what doctors do. And I remember particularly him describing that a doctor can open your abdomen, cut through your intestines, and then return them back and stitch it back. And that was so impressive and exciting to me at that time. And I told him I want to become that person. So he told me, fine, if you want to become a doctor, unfortunately, in Kenya, you have to be the top students. Those who've been there, they know, like, in Kenya, for you to join medical school, you have to graduate top of your class. So he told me, fine, you have to be at the top of your game if you want to become a doctor. And I think that is a moment that changed my life because miraculously I became a good boy, started going to school every day, and I was telling everyone that I want to become a doctor, and my parents were so happy about it. Few years later, I did my national exam, and I was the top student in that region. Thank you. So that earned me a scholarship with Equity Bank, who sponsored me through my high school. And again, I did very well, graduated high school as one of the top students at that time. And now the moment that I have been waiting all my life came a couple of months later when I realized that I have been placed to Moi University to do medicine and surgery. And yeah, and that was really an important moment to me. So we had a lot of celebrations and excitement, but after that, reality set in because I didn't have a clear financial plan of how I'm going to sail through college. So we managed to raise some funds, and I took a loan, and we came to Eldoret. It was my first time coming to Eldoret, and from Murang'a to Eldoret is about 10 hours. So we came with as a very new person to that city, only to realize that at that time students were not being offered accommodation. So I had to look for somewhere to, like a house to rent. And the very first year when I joined medical school, life became a little bit difficult because at some point I couldn't afford to raise the rent. And this prompted me to go to the dean's office to see whether I could get some help with the same. And this is when she introduced me to Mwangaza Scholarship. And she talked about how this program is funded by people from Indiana University. It was started in Indiana University and encouraged me to apply. When I applied for this scholarship, when I took the form and went back to my room, I remember telling my friend that I am applying for this scholarship that is funded by people from India. Because I had not heard of Indiana University before in my life. But a few months later, I came to learn that Indiana University is actually in the US when Professor Bozin was introducing me to Mwangaza as a scholar. And he introduced us to this, the program and told me that I've been awarded the scholarship. And from that time, the program has paid my school fees, they paid for my accommodation. I was given some active money, and all I had to do is to become a doctor. Yeah, early this year, I received the best news of my life that I will be coming to Indiana University for my exchange program. And I remember I called and the first thing I did was to call my mom and tell her that I'm coming to the US. And I remember my mom laughed really hard and told me, I know, James, this is one of your jokes. I had a hard time trying to convince her that that was true, but eventually she was very excited. I have really learned a lot from the university, and the program has opened my mind into different and diverse ways in which medicine can be practiced. And I'm really grateful that through generosity of other people, I have an opportunity to fulfill my dream of becoming a doctor. And I look forward to going back to the community and applying these skills that I'm learning to champion for healthcare access to my people. As the saying goes, when you use your own candle to light another person's candle, you do not diminish your own light, but you do brighten the room. Thank you so much. Asanteni sana.